What happened when my headaches were brushed off as anxiety, but the scans revealed something terrifying? It started with headaches. At first I thought it was finals week stress, too much coffee, too little sleep, but then they grew worse. Sharp, blinding, like someone was driving nails behind my eyes. Some mornings I woke nauseous, stumbling like the floor tilted beneath me. When I went to urgent care, the doctor barely looked up from his screen. You're young, healthy, it's stress, maybe migraines. Drink water, rest, reduce screen time. I tried, I really did. But the headaches didn't stop. They came harder, more violent, leaving me curled on the floor in the dark. The second ER trip was worse. I vomited in the waiting room, clutching my skull, whispering, please help me. The doctor sighed, checked my blood pressure, and said, classic anxiety. Panic attacks can mimic neurological symptoms. He prescribed anti-anxiety meds. I left in tears, humiliated. For weeks, I forced myself to believe them. Maybe it was in my head. Maybe I was weak, dramatic. But then one morning, I collapsed on campus. My roommate found me seizing on the floor, foam at my mouth. The ambulance lights blurred as paramedics lifted me. One muttered, this isn't stress. At the hospital, I begged for a scan. The ER doctor shook his head. Seizures can be psychological. We'll monitor. That's when a nurse stepped forward. She leaned close and whispered, don't let them send you home. I'll page neurology. Minutes later, a neurologist arrived. He ordered an MRI immediately. The machine clanged as I lay perfectly still, terror gnawing my chest. When the results came back, the neurologist's face was grim. He pointed at the screen. There's a mass, a brain tumor, mid-size, pressing against your temporal lobe. The world froze. Tears blurred my vision. A tumor? He nodded. You've probably had it for months. It explains the headaches, the nausea, the seizure. It's not anxiety. It's very real. My mom, who had raced to the hospital, broke down sobbing. They told her it was stress. They told her she was fine. The neurologist's jaw tightened. They should have ordered imaging the first time. I'm sorry. Surgery was scheduled within 48 hours. The risk terrified me, bleeding, memory loss, even death. But I had no choice. The tumor was growing, crushing the very thing that made me me. The night before surgery, I lay awake, listening to the hum of machines. I thought about every time I'd been dismissed, every time I'd been told I was exaggerating. And I promised myself if I survived, I'd never let anyone silence me again. The operation lasted 8 hours. When I woke up, groggy and bandaged, the surgeon smiled softly. We removed the tumor. You're going to need therapy, but you're alive. Alive. 2 weeks earlier, they told me it was stress. And now here I was, scar across my skull, proof carved into my body that I had been right all along. Recovery was brutal. I had to relearn balance, practice memory games, rebuild stamina. But the hardest part wasn't physical. It was emotional. I replayed every dismissal, drink water, calm down. It's anxiety. Those words nearly killed me. Later, when my mom requested my medical records, she found notes from the ER visits. Patient appears dramatic. Likely stress-induced migraines. The same words copied again and again. My pain had been reduced to a stereotype. I filed a complaint. The hospital promised retraining, but no one looked me in the eye and said, we failed you. Only the nurse did, the one who whispered, don't let them send you home. She visited during recovery, smiling softly. You trusted yourself. That's why you're here. Now months later, I carry the scar proudly. Not because I wanted it, but because it's proof. Proof that I wasn't weak. Proof that I knew my body better than they did. Whenever someone tells me doctors dismiss their symptoms, I say the same thing. Fight. Ask again. Demand the scan. Because the difference between living and dying isn't always the treatment. Sometimes it's whether someone listens. And I'll never forget the day I learned that what they called stress was in fact a tumor pressing against my brain.